A very good morning, Vivekians. Once again, Uma ma'am this side. It's such a pleasure to talk to you again. Hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Dear student, today is the last session of the first chapter, Plant Reproduction. So, let's have a quick recap of the entire chapter. In this chapter, we studied about seed and its structure. You came to know about the different structure of the seeds. Like seed is covered with a seed coat, it has two cotyledons and it has an embryo. Embryo is the new baby plant. Then we came to know about the reproduction of plants from seeds. We learned about the different stages of germination, how a small seed grows into a seedling. After that, we learned about dispersal of seeds, why dispersal was essential, and what are the four agents of dispersal. So, the four agents of dispersal were wind, water, animal, and through seed bursting. Now, you also came to know that plants reproduce without seed also. So, there were three ways by which reproduction of plants without seeds took place. The first one was from stem, that is, what are the two examples? Rose and potato. Then from roots, then the example of the plant is sweet potato and carrot. And we also saw a video in which bryophyllum grows a new plant from its leaves. Today, we will first discuss about the different uses of plant. So, here I have already mentioned the different uses of plants. Let's understand one by one. So, in the first point, it's written that plants provide shelter to many living things. Now, second point is insect, birds and other animals make their home in big and small trees. So you already know where the birds build their nest. Yes, the birds build their nest on trees and plants. So what is the third point? People use timber to build their homes. What does timber means? Timber means wood logs. We use wood for making different things like windows, doors and other furnitures. And the other point is many valuable products including medicines, cotton, rubber and paper are derived from plants. Even coal comes from dead and decayed plant matter. So do you know how coals are being made? Yes, when the plant dies, it buries deep inside the earth and after millions of years it gets converted into coal. So indirectly, plants are responsible for giving us coal. Now, the last point is plants gives us fruit, vegetables and flowers. So, dear students, you know now why plants are so useful to us. Now, coming to the other topic, we will start with discuss and share. So, a very interesting idea is being discussed here. The word here that we are going to learn is biomimicry. So dear students, you all must have seen stand-up comedians doing mimicry of famous personalities and film stars. So what are they doing basically? They are copying them. So what does biomimicry means? So let us read. Bio means life and mimicry means to copy. So thus, biomimicry is to copy nature and take the best ideas from nature and use them to solve our problems. So dear students, yes, science follows nature. We inspire from nature and we build new products out of that. So let us see the two examples that has been given to us. In the first example, can you see the picture? Yes. The picture is that of a lotus leaf and other side is that of a paint. So what is the connection between lotus leaf and paint? Let us read. The lotus flower repels dust and dirt particles naturally. What does repel means? If the dust and dirt comes over lotus flower or its leaf, it just simply flows away. So when water rolls on the lotus leaf, it collects everything on the surface and leaves a clean and healthy leaf behind. So what happened? A German paint company spent 4 years on this research and developed a paint with similar properties. Yes, so we get inspired by the nature, and here a lotus leaf was responsible for the development of a new paint. The surface of the paint pushes away dust and dirt, reducing the need to wash the walls. So here in the diagram you can see what is the similarity between these two. Now we will try to understand biomimicry with another example. You all must have worn shoes that has Velcro on it. Yes, it is very easy to use because it does not have laces to be tied. So how was it made? Let us read. You may have worn shoes with Velcro straps. Velcro was invented by a Swiss engineer, George de Mestral, in 1941. Once he removed burrs. What are burrs? Burrs are the seeds. I have written it for you here. You can see. So burrs is a seed having hooks. So decided to take a closer look at how they worked. The small hooks found at the end of the burr needles inspired him to create the present ubiquitous Velcro. Now here is a new word. Ubiquitous means found everywhere. So Velcro is now used in so many things like shoes and bags. So dear students, now you know how the Velcro was invented. Yes, it was also inspired by nature. So dear students, here you can see how the beak of a kingfisher inspired the front portion of a bullet train run in Japan. In the second example, you can see you have already read about dandelion seeds. Yes, and the floating dandelion seed inspired to invent a parachute. And you all must have seen mosquito. Yes. So the sting of mosquito inspired the invention of needle. So with these examples, you must have come to know that how nature inspires science. So we'll start with VCare. There are some species of plants and animals that are found only in one geographic region. These are called endemic species. So what are endemic species? So there are some few plants and animals that are found only in one specific region. So here is an example of Gucci mushrooms. So let us read. Gucci mushrooms are found only in Himalayas. Yes, they are nowhere found else in the world. So that is why they are known as endemic species. They possess a variety of medicinal properties and are more expensive than gold. Gucci mushrooms usually grow in groups on logs of decaying wood or decaying leaves and even in humus soil. However, in the next season, they may not grow in the same place but in other place. So now you know why they are so expensive. There are several other endemic species of high importance. They are already less in number and thus need to be conserved. So there is a homework for you. Can you think of ways to conserve these species? Yes, so please let me know through your assignment. So students, with this we end the first chapter of science, that is plant reproduction. Meet you all soon with a new chapter. Till then, take care and thank you.